am I the a-hole for not letting my stepsister borrow my wedding dress? Throwaway in case people involved are in Reddit. Me, a female 23-year-old, got married to my husband about a year ago. It was wonderful and probably the happiest day of my life. My family was involved with everything and I was delighted by it. Including my stepfather, who at first I had a somewhat rocky relationship with, but I grew to appreciate him. His daughter, a female 26-year-old, is an entire different story. We cannot get along. I have tried and I am sure she also has, but it is not about being different, it is because she has always had very similar taste as me. We used to fight about our clothes, our toys, and so on. She has a relationship with a man whom I have got to know maybe 3 or 4 times. She announced her relationship with him during my wedding, which annoyed me at first, but I let it go since it was only a 20-second public service announcement, and became engaged just 4 months after that. Now, she has been planning her wedding, and I have tried to help as much as I can since I already had most contacts fresh. She plans to marry a day after Christmas, so I thought everything was set and ready to go. On Saturday, she calls me crying, saying that her wedding dress would not arrive on time since she had some changes done. For some context, no one knows how this dress looks because she wanted to keep it a surprise for everyone, per her own words. I tried to comfort her and I told her I knew some cute boutiques who had nice wedding dresses ready for her date. She cries harder, telling me she did not want any cheap dress. I try to calm her down once more before telling her I would call my stepdad to see what we could do. Before I could finish that sentence, she says out of the blue, "Can I wear your dress?" I did not respond, because I did not know how to. She goes on, explaining that it would make things less troubling, how she is the same size as me and how much she loved it the second she saw it on me. I do not know what possessed me to simply say no and hang up the phone. I have received multiple calls from her fiancé and my stepdad, who I did respond to. He pleaded to me to let her borrow my wedding dress, just like when we were kids. I tried to explain to him that my wedding dress was very special to me, and I would not feel comfortable letting anyone else in it, unless it was my decision. He got super angry with me and hung up. My messages have been exploding with my stepsister, her soon-to-be husband and my stepdad telling me how horrible I am for being so selfish. I know how my stepsister is. I know how dramatic and over the top she can be when she does not get her way. But there is a part of me that feels awful for not letting her wear it since it is just a dress and it would make her so happy. But there is that other part of me that remembers how my husband, my mom, and I struggled to save for it because it was my dream dress, and I do not want to share something so personal with her. Should I just let her have it just so things do not escalate? Commenter asked, "Not the a-hole, I am calling shenanigans on your stepsister's part. She probably had her eye on your dress since day one, probably commissioned a similar dress, if she even did, hence the surprise, and planned to use your dress as a backup if hers did not show up in time." Opie responded, "I never wanted to assume things, but this is where I am at too. I will talk to her tomorrow and try figure things out." Opie commented, "Opie is voted NTA. I will go see her now. I will update when I get home." Update 1. Well, that happened. I arrived at said coffee shop just in time. She took half an hour to get there. I talked as gently as I could with her, explaining how I did not want her to wear my wedding dress and why, since it was so emotionally attached to me. She went absolutely nuts. She called me a selfish cow, telling me how I am the most horrible human ever. I tried to calm things down until I just could not do it anymore. I knew this was a possibility, so as soon as she started crying, I pulled out her wedding invitation and gave it back to her. I told her I would not be attending the wedding, but I hoped it all went perfectly. Her voice could not get louder at this point. She threatened to come to my house and take it from me. I simply left the coffee shop without saying another word, and now I am home. Update 2. This is some sort of update to a previous post I made almost a year ago, but some things have definitely happened. For my last post, my female 24-year-old stepsister, a female 27-year-old, got married last December. She asked for my wedding dress after not wanting to even look for one herself. I said no, I stood my ground and I did not go to her wedding. Fast forward to last month, she and her husband have separated. She says they are only taking a break. I began to rebuild my relationship with her. I took time and effort to find a way to talk to her and even go out on double dates with his husband and mines. That went really well, up until the break she took with her hubby. She stopped talking to me altogether, ghosted me when I wanted to plan stuff, and I figured she only needed some time. Up until she calls me again, in the middle of August. She wants to come over to my house and talk. I genuinely felt happy to have her come over, since my stepdad kept pressuring to finally make peace. She comes over, we have coffee, and she asks to see my closet since she was going out on a date and had nothing to wear. I thought this was full circle moment for both us, so I said yes. We looked through my clothes and I picked something that went well with her. She said thanks and put the outfit in a bag she brought with her, and left. Some days pass, and as I was cleaning my own closet, I find that the spot where my wedding dress was hanging from was empty. It was in a garment bag, and it was there since I do not want it to wrinkle so bad since the fabric was a little fragile. I freaked out, searched for it everywhere. I realized the last time I saw it was before my stepsister came. I called her and asked sincerely in case I was wrong. She got extremely defensive and hung up the phone. I called my stepdad. He was angry at me for thinking she could do that. Later, my stepdad calls again. He got my stepsister to tell the truth. She stole it while I was looking for an outfit for her. He tells me to calm down and to resolve this like adults, but I called her again and simply said to prepare her lawyers. This created massive drama within my family, and I was too livid to acknowledge it until my mom called me. Now, I'm thinking I may be crossing a line, but that dress means too much for me. I saved every penny I got, and it truly was the dress of my dreams. I am scared to find out if she did anything to it. Am I the a-hole for suing my stepsister? Commenter asked, how does someone steal a wedding dress and original poster does not notice? Fake and you are the a-hole. Opie responded, I would not say my closet is too big, but it is a walk-in one. There were plenty of times I was looking through my shirts with my back against her. Commenter asked, not all wedding dresses are big and poofy. My own wedding dress rolls up about the same size as a pair of standard jeans. I am not saying that this post is true, I am just saying that assumptions about garment size are not something to base a rejection of truth on. Opie responded, it really was not puffy. Without all the accessories it would be a really simple A-line dress, but I loved it. Commenter asked, why did she steal a wedding dress for a wedding that happened 8 months ago? Opie responded, that is what I am trying to figure out. To get back at me, I assume? Commenter asked, it has been days at least. Chances are the dress has already been altered, red ruined, for the sister now anyway. So just filing the report and getting the dress back is not enough. Opie responded, I am extremely scared and heartbroken of this possibility. Opie commented. Opie comments later that day. Thank you everyone for the kind comments. I will try talking tomorrow with her again. If things go wrong I will go to the police. I will update as soon as I can. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister to give me my money back after her husband made fun of my wife's scars? My sister had borrowed money from me almost a year ago for her husband's surgery and healthcare. They could not afford it, so when my sister asked me for financial help I was hesitant, but I helped her because she is my sister and helping her husband would mean helping her as well. I told her back then that I'm hesitating but I will help her. She said she will return the money in 3 months, but she did not, and I did not ask her either. So now I brought it up again. I was not planning on asking to return the money, but her brother-in-law made fun of my wife's scars. My wife has small scars on her hand. It is not serious, just small scars she inflicted on herself when she was 15. I was with her back then and put a stop to it. We are 27 both, and my brother-in-law made fun of my wife when he asked her if she is still childish and asked her to cover up her hands because it is unpleasant for everyone. Both of our families were speechless and my wife was as well. I said when we are young we do dumb stuff and he is too intoxicated so he should just shut up. He got a bit more aggressive and said that it is still unpleasant and my wife should cover up. I retaliated in my anger and told him that my wife will start covering her scars when he gives me my money back. To be honest, I get angry easily and I wanted to insult him. My wife was holding me to stop, but I told her to shut up. I ended up telling him that he is a poor man and weak who could not even afford his own surgery and had his wife beg for money to her brother. He got even more angry and he said he will give me my money. I said do it right now, but you cannot because you cannot even walk properly. Our families were interfering and my sister was crying. I shut my mouth because I did not want my sister to cry. Since then my sister is asking me to apologize because I hurt his ego and he is in a foul mood and depressed. I told my sister that I will never apologize and he needs to apologize to my wife, and I asked her that both of them owe me money and I want it back as soon as possible and I do not care if they are poor. Am I the a-hole has no consensus bot. Original poster received mixed reactions, but leaning toward everyone sucks here and you are the a-hole. OP commented, OP on being controlling and manipulative for telling his wife to shut up. You can call me controlling in this situation, yes? But you cannot call me manipulative. I have never manipulated my wife nor my sister. I have always done everything I can for them, and if they ever need my help I help them. My wife never needed my help because I have been with her for years, but my sister did, so I helped her only to find out that her husband insulted my wife. Telling my wife to shut up is not disrespecting her. I was quiet when she was pulling me back, and to be honest, she should not be interfering when I'm fighting someone. And stooping lower than him? I did, and I will go even lower. If someone insults my wife I could go the lowest you can imagine. OP commented. OP responds to a downvoted commenter regarding keeping his cool and not insulting people he is trying to protect. You are a child for saying shut up, person of ill repute. Sure, I am a piece of garbage for telling my wife to shut up in anger, and we are not even bothered by it. I can tell her to shut up and so can she, but mentioning the person of ill repute part? Unnecessary, and if I ever called my wife, which I do not dare, she would leave me. Maybe you are accustomed to calling your wife or sister a person of ill repute. Maybe they are and you just enjoy it. I do not know, but mentioning person of ill repute part is unnecessary and just shows how you were raised, possibly by a person of ill repute, and that is how your dad addressed your mom, I think. Update 1. It is an update for those who do not want to read my previous post. My wife has some small self-harm scars from her childhood, and my brother-in-law insulted my wife and asked her to cover them up, and when I could not tolerate the disrespect, I asked him to give me the money I lent him for his surgery and healthcare. After my brother-in-law insulted my wife and asked her to cover her scars, I wanted him to pay me my money back as soon as possible. My brother-in-law and my sister said they will give me my money back in 3 months, and it has been a year and still they did not. My wife told me today that my brother-in-law called her and he apologized to her, so I should not ask for money because they cannot afford it and I should forgive them. I told my wife that he is taking advantage of your kindness and he apologized to you because he cannot afford to pay and he insulted you in front of everyone and we deserve a public apology, and my wife said that she has forgiven him and does not want the money back and they need that money more than us. I told her to stay away from this and let me do my thing. I will ask them again and again until they pay, but my wife said she does not want to and I should not either, and I should be the bigger person after brother-in-law apologized and she has forgiven him. Actually, I do not care if I get my money back. I'm just using it to get back at him. I want to humiliate him just like he humiliated my wife in front of our families, but my wife does not want that. So am I an a-hole if I ask for my money and go behind my wife's back? Commenter asked, is original poster in the United States and can take to small claims court? OP responded, no. Update 2. After my brother-in-law made fun of my wife and my wife's insistence that I should forgive and forget about the money, we had major disagreements and we argued about it. I said I will not escalate anymore and I will not humiliate him for humiliating us, but it is fair that I ask for my money back. It is my money and they should pay, right? My wife said she wants no escalation and wants to let it go. It is up to them if they pay us back on their own, but we will not ask them to or force them like I was planning. I told my wife that we could use that money. It is ours and we could use it, but she said she does not care anymore. He's family and I should forgive him. I said she is angry and she wants me to let it go, so she is in charge of the money. It is her decision whether she wants it back or not, but I never want to see my brother-in-law ever again, and if he pulls something like this ever again, he will need another surgery on his other leg as well. I called my sister and told her that if she ever plans to give me the money I lent to her, she should give it to my wife because I do not want anything to do with her or her pathetic husband. So yeah, that is about it. My wife is happy with my decision, but I am still very angry about everything that happened in these weeks.
That's all for today, besties.